We will be using two types of sound effects, covered and breathy. This video will teach you the breathy sound effects. Covered sound effects are taught in a separate video. The second type of sound effect we will be using are breathy sounds. These sounds emphasize the wind in woodwind and will create a really interesting soundscape when multiplied by 100 Migranti. By breathy sound, I mean this. Now, we've all spent years of practice trying to eliminate breathiness from our beautiful flute tones, so it might take some thought and practice to consistently get a breathy sound. There are several technical elements that will help you with that consistency. The first is to make sure you roll out a lot. That will help not produce a normal flute sound. The second thing to think about is opening up your embouchure, and for me, I actually like to open it up so much you can even see my teeth. The third thing to keep in mind is that these are all very soft sounds, from quadruple P to maybe piano at the loudest. And lastly, you can experiment with different syllables for producing this breathy sound. You can use an F sound, or sh, sh, or even which is more like an HA sound. So f, or sh, or the first set of breathy sounds we'll be doing are called Aeolian, and Aeolian means a sound like the wind. So we're just going to be playing various notes, moving up and down with our breathy sound. Fingering any notes that you want that move up and down like the wind whistling through the trees. If you are concerned about making up notes in the heat of performance, choose ahead of time a scale that you know and just play it up and down over and over again. So if you're really good at D major, it could sound like this. And that will be fine. The next three breathy sound effects are all based on a simple crescendo diminuendo. So first practice just staying on one note and crescendoing and diminuendoing. Keep in mind that this is all going to be within the range of quadruple P to piano, so you don't have to make a huge sound in the middle of your crescendo. After you've got that going, practice doing a crescendo diminuendo and ending with a half step up. And after you've done that for a while, practice the same thing but ending with a half step down. And you can imagine that when 100 flutists are all making that kind of sound at the same time, or approximately the same time, it's going to sound really, really cool. Now, if you are concerned about figuring out a half step up and a half step down, because perhaps you are a beginner flutist joining us here in the Migranti, don't worry, you don't have to do a whole range of notes. Just pick any note that you know, both the half step up and the half step down, and that can be your starting point. For example, you probably know how to play a low E. A half step up from a low E is an F, and a half step down from a low E is an E flat. And you can just stick with with E to F and E to E flat the whole time. And lastly, in the realm of breathy sound effects, you need to be able to make these sounds in varying lengths, from nice and long to nice and short. Just tiny little puffs of air, and everything in between. So spend some time practicing breathy sounds of varying lengths. All right, now you know everything you need to know for our performance of Il Cerchio Tagliato dei Suoni. I'll see you at rehearsal.